Hello guys, this is me, Amba, with a new team match for FAOH TV. This is DcH Hiking in command of Gaul, me in command of Pontus, against Scythia in Egypt of USSR clan, Mark Augustus in command of Egypt, and USSR TDI in command of Scythia. Somewhat of a funky matchup right here. Should be interesting, should be very interesting. USSR are spreading out as far as possible according to their normal tactic of skirmishing, skirmishing, and making it difficult for you to charge their line or to even find their line to charge. But it's fine, as I have my skirmish forces prepared as well. 2 units of Javcav and 2 units of chariot archers right there. I will post the descriptions of the armies that were used here in the video description below, as it will take me far too long to describe them in here. Excuse me. Not much is happening just yet on the battlefield, but the action is going to kick off shortly. As Hiking has decided to just stand there and perhaps stare Scythia down, I thought I would just as well move up to him. Egypt is doing the same. He's moving up to Scythia to close their ranks. But I'm leaving my skirmish force right there on the left flank, just in case Egypt attempts to rush me, so that I can use my skirmish force to flank them, possibly take some men down with archer fire, and possibly just charge in. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Hiking is now going into loose formation, seeing as he faces all these masses of Scythian archers, which is probably just about the best action for him right now, as he has no missile troops whatsoever. Therefore he has to rush really, but my army is not exactly suited for rushing people. Therefore all he can do is just stand beside me there, hoping that Scythia is foolish enough to come near him and give him the opportunity to smack their general down or something. I'm keeping my chariots well away of possible fire arrows, but here we can see a developing duel between chariot archers of Egypt and my chariot archers. Mark Augustus is sending in some of his Scyth chariots, attempting to rush me with them, but seeing as I have advantage in numbers, I just swamp him in Javcav for a start to possibly take some troops down with javelins, and then swamp him with my chariot archers, which leads to successful death of most of Scythian chariots. Excuse me, I could never pronounce that word right. And now I'm just rushing his chariot archers, which should not be exactly difficult considering the amount of units I have nearby. And as you can see, that was not difficult at all. And the number of survivors is low enough to ensure that those chariots never come back. So that was quite a good victory on my flank. I lost hardly any Javcav and hardly any chariot archers. Whereas Egyptian skirmish force of chariot archers is pretty much done for. And at this glorious point in game, Hiking decides to actually leave the game and leave me with a CPU ally against Egypt and Scythia. Gauls here implement their own tactic of just spreading out into a thin line, attempting some charges from Scythia. Seeing this, TDI is obviously bringing all his cavalry to Gaul's flank, hoping and rather anticipating a nice flank charge which will pretty much instantaneously rout all of these units. One unit of Gallic Cav feels especially brave and gets decimated by all 6 units of headhunting maidens. The unit of swordsmen is deciding to try their luck. Egyptian chariots are closing in, hoping to chop them up. All this mass of Gaul. Make them mass rout. Make them disappear from the field, and no longer be an obstacle on the way to defeating me. However, Gauls, excuse me yet again, Gauls actually surprisingly stand their ground quite well against Egyptian chariots, against headhunting maidens, and give me time enough to assemble my chariots and get them into the fray. Most of Egyptian chariots are now routing, or at least half of them is, while my chariots got to chop up Scythian cavalry. The Egyptian general, although I thought that Gauls took him out, but whatever, never mind. Egyptian cavalry is now in full retreat, and so is Scythian, but not far enough. Not far enough at all, as I still get to charge them and destroy yet another unit. Some of my chariots do eventually run amok, but they've done enough to justify their existence on the battlefield. And even as they run amok, they still run through Scythian units, so that's fine by me. My skirmish force is still operational on that far side of the battlefield. Egyptian archers are now trying to rush my archers in one tightly packed formation, more or less. However, I have noticed that move, and I am bringing my Javcav and my chariot archers to deal with them. Gaul is still killing people all over the battlefield. Egyptian archers are fighting Gauls here and there and everywhere, and routing pretty much here and there and everywhere. While my skirmish force arrives just in time to deal with these Egyptian archers, and so Egypt admits defeat, because there's pretty much nothing left for him to do, nothing left for him to command. TDI with Scythia admits a last charge on that Gallic unit right there, possibly routed them. Oh no, oh yes, and there's another unit which is successfully routed. So it's just picking apart the little bits of Gaul which are left still. But somehow I do not think that the Scythian force is going to be able to stand up to... oh, shut up. To stand up to my 6 pikes, 6 archers and some skirmishers. I'm just rushing everything that I have in order to kill these remaining units as soon as possible and just end this suffering. I attempt to charge on general's units, which has gone too far for a bit, but my Javcav seemingly is not fast enough to catch up with them. Never mind, I'll still charge them in and withdraw, seeing as my mocking chariots are actually doing the work for me. Even though I thought these mocking chariots are meant to be killing people, most of those Scythian archers still got back up for some reason.
Enemy general has been killed.
Scythian general has been killed by charging a random stray Gaul unit right there, and even though they do manage to rout that unit in the very end, or maybe it was my fire arrows which actually routed it, the general is now dead, and that is quite a catastrophe at this stage of the game, where you have pretty much nothing left, and your the remnants of your morale depends on the existence of your general on the battlefield. There I get into a rather bold engagement of my Javcav with those Scythian archers, and my Javcav pays for it. At least one unit of them dies. The other unit, excuse me, oh my god, get away with this somehow, and give time enough for my pikes to actually charge in.
Victory is sweet indeed,
And Scythia admits defeat, so DcH to our USSR friends, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.